Hello everyone, I hope you are doing well. By the time you watch this video, we will already be in December, the last month of the year 2020. In a few weeks, we will enter 2021. Yes, time flies. At a certain age, it's normal for people to feel a sense of crisis. However, as long as we are making progress in life, we will happily welcome the next day. Very often, I remind myself of a sentence from the book of 大学 or Great Learning. It is one of the 4 books in Confucianism. The sentence is 苟日新,日日新,又日新. The English translation of this sentence is, if you can improve yourself in a day, do so each day, building daily upon prior improvements. This sentence is especially valuable to us since we are all still going through difficult times caused by the global pandemic. But we can see the light at the end of the tunnel now after knowing that there are some vaccines that are very effective. Let's encourage each other and go through these challenging times together. I believe most of you have already watched my first Q&A video posted last Saturday. From now on, I will post Q&A videos once a month so that I will be able to answer questions suggested by the community. By doing so, we will be able to build a strong community. So please keep suggesting new questions so that I will use your suggestions as the contents of my videos in the future. In today's video, I'd like to explain 2 martial proverbs. The first one is 含胸拔背, or empty the chest and extend the back. The second one is 沾黏连随, or touch, stick, connect, follow. Again, these terms are a bit abstract. You may need a certain training background to fully understand them. However, even if you are just a beginner, you can still benefit from this video. So let's get started. The first martial proverb is 含胸拔背. 含 means empty, move inward slightly. 胸 is chest, 拔 is extend, pull, and 背 is just back. Together, this proverb tells us in martial art practice, you should empty your chest and extend the back. It seems like a very simple proverb, but in reality, many people make a lot of mistakes in interpreting and applying this proverb in practice. The reason behind those mistakes is very simple. Many people interpret the term literally, so it is almost unavoidable to have a negative impact on their daily practice. Before I explain this proverb, let me introduce another very important Taoist principle, 虚心实腹, or empty the heart and solidify the stomach. This sentence is from the 3rd chapter of Lao Tzu's Tao Te Ching, or the Book of Tao. In that chapter, Lao Tzu said, 圣人治, 虚其心, 实其腹. Or the way of sage is to empty the heart, solidify the stomach. Since Tao Te Ching is a philosophy book, different people apply the same word in different ways. For example, empty the heart commonly is translated as purify and calm down the mind. Remove the worldly thought so that the real or prenatal mind would reveal itself. The term empty the heart is more about the right mental and psychological state or attitude. Traditionally, the result of empty the heart is to enter the state of 天人合一, or the unity of heaven and human. One becomes part of the nature, and the nature becomes part of oneself, or dissolution of both subject and object. For us, since I'm working on introducing the concept used in martial art practice, let's focus on the explanation of this perspective. So, in Chinese martial arts, including both internal and externals, especially in energy practice, 虚心实服, or empty the heart and solidify the stomach, is the guiding principle for thousands of years. For example, we can find this term that has been applied in almost all of the Xiu Dao documents. Even today, many martial artists still use this term to describe the basic principle regarding body structure. Basically, in martial art training, heart means chest, stomach means lower dantian area. So, empty the heart and solidify the stomach indicates that in practice you should relax the chest and focus on the lower dantian area. Some people explain that it is the way to adjust the breath and focus on the lower dantian during martial training. Please check out my video where I explain the concept of dantian. Link is in the description. After watching that video, you will understand to a certain extent that in martial training, lower dantian should be the area that generates energy for martial application. However, there is a problem with this proverb. Since it is taken directly from Dao De Jing, which is the philosophy book, there is no clear explanation in terms of martial practice. A general principle cannot replace a specific principle. So, if 虚心实服 is insufficient guidance for practice, is there any other terms that better explains the specific training principle? It is the term that we are focusing on today. It is 含胸拔背, or empty the chest and extend the back. First of all, where does this term come from? Some martial arts scholars believe that this term was first mentioned by Wu Yuxiang. Wu learned Tai Chi from Yang Luchan and then created the 8 principles of Tai Chi, including 含胸 and 拔背. Some others believe that the first written record is from the book Tai Chi Chuan Method, written by Chen Weiming and published in 1925. Chen Weiming was a disciple of Yang Shengfu. It was said that Chen Weiming recorded what Yang Shengfu taught him in his book, The Tai Chi 10 Principles. By the way, please keep in mind that the word in Wu Yuxiang's writing is different from other people's. Even though these two words sound the same, but in written, they are different. The Chinese character used by Wu Yuxiang is Han, and most others is Han. Of course, there is a subtle difference between these two terms depending on the context, but in general, they are interchangeable. Both of them mean to create a feeling of spaciousness. Let's continue talking about what Chen Weiming said in his book. He said that in order to empty the chest, you have to visualize the chest moving inward slightly so that the energy will sink to the dantian. It is forbidden to extend the chest all the energy will be blocked in the chest area and your balance can be easily unrooted by your opponent due to you being heavy in the upper area and light in the lower area, or 上重下轻, which is a common martial term in Chinese. He also mentioned in his book that 拔背 is to make the energy stay in the back area. I do not totally agree with Chen Weiming's concept of never extending the chest. My understanding is that he was trying to emphasize the posture that force is from the back. However, we all know that in some postures that the chest needs to be extended in a chest opening and closing movement according to the traditional Chen style Tai Chi practice. Also, there are many chest movements involving horizontal motions, including extending and contracting. Regarding the principle of chest and back in Tai Chi practice, Chen Xin, one of the most important Chen style Tai Chi scholars, said, 胸要含住劲，右要虚，胸肩松开，胸一松，全身舒畅。 Which translates to, the chest should have strength, but also need to be empty. Relax the chest so that the energy in the whole body will flow. To summarize this part, I would like to emphasize the principle of the chest and the back in Tai Chi practice is that to relax the chest and maintain the power in the back, not shrinking the chest and straightening back at all. Shrinking the chest will not only create unwanted health issues, but it will also keep you from developing Tai Chi power. As for maintaining the power in the back, it does not mean you have to tense your back. It also does not focus on how straight your back is. It focuses on how to generate the power from the back for martial application. Please keep in mind that we are talking about specific terms here. Like I have mentioned in the beginning that there are many ways to express the same concept in different martial art styles. The absence of a specific term does not mean no such concept exists. For example, to emphasize the same approach in practice, Xingyi typically uses the term 圆背宽胸, or round the back and widen the chest. This term was created by Guo Hanzhi, a famous disciple of Li Cunyi. I studied Xingyi for a short period of time from one of his students. He told me that many people misunderstood the term 圆 or round. As a result, they overcurved their chest inward in order to make their back look round. It is not a correct practice. So, from about a decade ago, in order to prevent any potential misunderstanding going forward, I started using a new term, 紧背宽胸, which means tighten the back and widen the chest, to introduce the principle of the chest and the back in Xingyi practice. I wrote an article and posted it in China. From then on, many Xingyi practitioners accepted this term and started using it. I introduced this topic in my prior Xingyi video. In Bagua, there is a similar term, 空胸拔顶下塌腰, or empty the chest, extend the top of the head, and sink down the lower back and hip area, to emphasize the same principle. So let me explain both terms in Xingyi and Bagua practice. In Xingyi practice, we emphasize the principle of 筋紧背宽胸, which translates to tighten the back and widen the chest. The issue here is how to tighten the bike. Does it mean you should intentionally tighten the bike muscle? The answer is no. So how to correctly tighten the bike then? Well, traditionally, there's no clear definition. But based on my practice and teaching experience, plus observation of many great masters bike while I was in China, you should intentionally extend the bike to different directions simultaneously. By doing so, your chest will become naturally empty or widened. This posture is conducive to Fa-Li action in Xingyi practice. To empty the chest, you have to relax your shoulder first. Shoulders should be able to sink downward naturally when they are relaxed. Be careful here. To be able to relax the shoulder is a prerequisite, not the end goal. In other words, being able to sink the shoulders downward does not mean that you can relax the shoulders. This is the key difference between the shoulders relaxation and the shoulders sinking motion. Both of them should happen naturally. If you do it correct, your shoulders should first extend downward and outward, and then you will feel that the chest is relaxed. Also, your armpits should feel empty as well. This is another key element in practice. Furthermore, to tighten the bike, you have to be careful that it does not make the muscle stiff. Instead, it is the practice that your spine will extend and maintain a flexible state. The objective of maintaining that state is to make sure that you can generate power from your bike. In my prior martial proverb video number 4, I introduced the 5 bow concept for maintaining correct posture in martial practice. Actually, 颈背宽胸 or tighten the bike and widen the chest is the prerequisite of 5 bow practice. In my Bagua introduction video, I briefly mentioned the Bagua 36 poems, which was taught by Dong Haichuan and recorded by his student Quan Kaiting, who was a bodyguard in the Forbidden City during the Qing dynasty. Did you know the first sentence of the 36 poems? Well, it is 空胸拔顶下塌腰, or empty the chest, extend the top of the head, and sink down the lower back and the hip area. Dong Haichuan put it as the first sentence of the first poem to emphasize such a body structure as the guiding principle of the entire Bagua system. So, no matter Xingyi principles of tightening the back and widening the chest, or Bagua's empty the chest, push the top of the head and sink the lower back and the hip area, they all emphasize the same principle for managing the chest and back, as just mentioned in Tai Chi as empty the chest and extend the back. I hope you will pay attention to this aspect in the future so that your practice will be improved to another level. Before we move on to the second proverb, let me demonstrate a small exercise which can help you improve the flexibility of your chest. Also, it can help you to strengthen the back as well. Hello, I'd like to demonstrate an exercise from the Xingyi Bagua Palm, the style created by Zhang Zhaodong in Tianjin. You can copy this movement and repeat this. It's a single movement exercise. Okay? So from this posture, horizontal circle, extend, inward circle, then wave. Okay? So this exercise used to practice the opening, closing movement of the chest, or 颈背宽胸. So again, I do slowly, okay? Horizontal circle, then shift the weight, extend, inward circle, extend the back, then wave the arm. Okay, again, 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, let's talk about the second proverb. The second proverb is suggested by one of our community members. His name is Claudio Reddy-Yatama. The martial proverb that he suggested is 沾黏连随, which translates to touch, stick, connect, follow. To help you understand this proverb better, I will explain it based on the source of this proverb, different versions, different explanations, and the complete version of this proverb. First of all, what is the origin of this proverb? According to research, the first written record of this proverb is Li Yiyu's collection of Tai Chi documents, which dates back to the 19th century. In one of the documents, there is one article named 打手歌 or push hand poem. The term 沾黏连随 is from that article. In Tai Chi community, 打手 commonly means push hand. Therefore, this proverb can be used as a guiding principle for Tai Chi push hand practice. To be more specific, based on the earliest written record, which dates back to the 1920s, this proverb was said to be written by Wang Zongyue and collected by Li Yiyu in his Tai Chi documents. Later, some other Tai Chi practitioners provided different explanations for this term. Also, some of them created their variations of the same concept. Some practitioners used different orders for listing these four words of this proverb. I will explain it later in that video. So, all of this can be considered a further interpretation of this proverb. To avoid unnecessary confusion, let's focus on the proverb and as used in Li Yiyu's Tai Chi document. This proverb consists of four characters. They are 沾黏连随. 沾 means touch, 黏 means stick, 连 means connect, 随 means follow. Together, this term is used to describe the basic principle in Tai Chi push hand practice, which requires a practitioner to practice the continuity, flexibility, and evenness in handling Tai Chi power. Neither Wang Zongyue nor Li Yiyu explained this proverb. This is why many Tai Chi practitioners provided their own explanation according to their experience. For example, Yang Chengfu, the great Yang style master, stated in his Tai Chi Chuan application documents, 沾 or touch means raise the opponent's energy upward. 黏 or stick means inseparable. 连 or connect means release your own force but connect with the opponent. 随 or follow means following the opponent's movement when they retreat. Based on my experience, this proverb indicates that in push hand practice, after two people connect their arms, the connecting point will not separate. The direction, intensity of the force and the focus will be adjusted according to the opponent's movements. Now, my question becomes, is the proverb complete as is? Well, the answer is no. To complete the proverb, we need to add 不丢不顶. So, what is 不丢不顶? 不 means without. 丢 is the situation that your arm or hand separates from your opponent's arm or hand. 顶 means a pure Tai Chi push hand practice, which is direct head-on force push. So, in traditional Tai Chi push hand practice, you should be able to sense any change in the opponent's force and intention and respond by adjusting your movement accordingly. traditional Tai Chi push hand practice requires a strict adherence to principle compared to the push hand used in modern competition. Very often, the modern so-called Tai Chi push hand competition is just push hand competition, not necessarily the Tai Chi push hand practice if we evaluate it using traditional criteria. That sounds a bit confusing, so in order to make it clear, we have to talk about the standard and the criteria of the traditional push hand practice, which will be introduced in the future. It is the complex topic and requires a much more detailed and lengthy explanation, which is beyond the scope of this video. Please keep in mind that 沾黏连随 or touch, stick, connect, follow are the means, not the method, and the path. The objective is to practice Tai Chi push hand without losing contact between the hand or direct hand-on clash of force against force. In other words, 不丢不顶. This is the key concept of this proverb. Furthermore, the term 沾 or touch requires the force used in push hand to be light, subtle, and precise. Some people describe this practice akin to removing a bit of dew from a lotus leaf. Subtlety and precision is emphasized here. Next, the term 连 or connect requires that your hand be physically connected to your opponent's hand. To achieve this result, it requires that mentally we have to be able to sense the subtle change in the opponent's force. The opponent's intent should be felt by your arms, not observed by your eyes. This requires constantly long-term practice. Next, the term 黏 or stick does not merely have the same meaning as 沾 or touch. It indicates that you should be able to control the opponent's movement by sticking to the force. You should be able to transfer your force to the opponent's root. By the way, the concept of root has been introduced in my prior video on the topic of 三节 or 3 segments. So, the term stick does not only mean to simply stay connected with the opponents with your arms, but you should also be able to lead and control the opponent's movement and even their intention. Finally, let's talk about the term 随 or follow. At a high level, the term 随 does not mean to simply follow the opponent's movements. Instead, you should focus on following their intention and try to direct the opponent's movement to such an extent that they will be thrown off balance. This is the principle of 引进落空, which means lead the opponent's force inward and redirect it into emptiness. I have explained this in a prior video. To achieve this level, you should start focusing on the principle offered by this proverb in Tai Chi routine practice. Many people think that this principle can be only applied and practiced in push hand, which is totally wrong. While practicing Tai Chi routine, you should pay attention to another proverb, 连绵不断, or continuous without stoppage. Here, continuous means that your mind should focus on the practice. So, continuous is the result of 沾黏连随, and without stoppage indicates the principle of 不丢不顶. That is why many Tai Chi masters in the past used another Tai Chi proverb to express the equal importance of Tai Chi form practice and Tai Chi push hand practice. The proverb is 知己功夫,知人功夫, or 功夫 of knowing oneself and the 功夫 of knowing others. Then I noticed that this term is not that clear, so I changed it to 练拳知己,推手知人, which translates to practice the form to know yourself, practice push hands to know others. So, adhering to that proverb while practicing the Tai Chi form will surely have a great impact on your Tai Chi practice. To summarize this proverb, we have to know that Tai Chi is a very special system that requires a lot of commitment in both time and consistency in order to master the style. Yes, Tai Chi is not that efficient in terms of time and effort required to reach the same skill level in terms of self-defense in comparison with other fighting systems, especially some modern systems. But the long-term benefit of Tai Chi can be great in terms of preserving health, enjoyment of practice, and self-defense function. I can say that to a certain extent, unless you want to be a professional fighter, Tai Chi practice is the best solution which can balance the health aspect and the self-defense objective. However, to practice Tai Chi at a high level, many principles have to be followed, which is the interesting and valuable part of this system indeed. I also want to point out that, of course, Tai Chi is made for everyone, but not everyone is made for Tai Chi. If you are not patient, if you are not detail-oriented, if you are not mentally strong, then I advise you not to practice Tai Chi. Based on my teaching experience, I can confidently say that it is very hard to reach a higher level in Tai Chi practice without the right mentality and the right approach. Unless, of course, you do it only for fun or for killing time, without paying any attention to correctness or progress. In that case, feel free to ignore my advice entirely and do whatever you feel like. You may say that I'm being negative here, but I most certainly am not. As a Tai Chi practitioner and a teacher, I expect you to follow the right direction and pay attention to principles and details. Otherwise, you are only wasting your own time anyway. Takeaways. Well, a few martial proverbs here has been introduced to support the two main proverbs. I'd like to summarize all of them here. 含胸拔背, empty the chest and extend the back, which is a common principle not only for Tai Chi practice, but also for Xing Yi and Bagua, and quite likely applicable to other styles as well. 虚心实腹, empty the heart and solidify the stomach, a sentence by Lao Tzu, which can be translated and applied in many fields. 胸要含住劲，又要虚，胸肩松开，胸一松，全身舒畅. Chest should have strength, but also need to be empty. Relax the chest so that your energy will flow through the whole body. This is the Tai Chi principle taught by Chen Xin, one of the best Chen style scholar in the history. 紧背宽胸, tighten the back and widen the chest, which is the Xing Yi proverb. 空胸拔顶, 下塌腰, empty the chest, extend the top of the head, and sink down the lower back and hip area, taught by Dong Haichuan and recorded by his student Quan Kaiting, used in Bagua practice. 粘黏连随, touch, stick, connect, follow, the classic Tai Chi push hand principle. 连绵不断, continuously without stoppage, used in Tai Chi routine and other practice. 练拳知己，推手知人。Practice the form to know yourself and practice push hand to know others, which differentiates the benefit between practicing form and push hand. That ends today's video. Again, please leave your comment if you have any questions. Thank you for watching, see you next time, and enjoy your practice.